Look, the best two teams, in my opinion, made the final. Punjab were outstanding. I think they probably overachieved. But RCB, just the big moments all throughout the tournament. Any big moment, any opportunity where someone needed to stand up. And yes, we talk about Virat Kohli. He is a superstar, there's no doubt about it. But there's other players in that team that just grabbed their opportunity.
Rajat Patidar, I want to talk about him a little bit. Brand new captain as well in the side. He wasn't even picked up in the auction. And then he goes to actually captaining a side to victory, which no RCB team's done before.
The fact that last can finish in the top four, Mumbai were last for half the season. Then they finish fourth. Like, the games are so competitive.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beyond 23, your favourite new cricket potty, and I'm so excited to say that I am back. My name is Erin Holland, and Michael Clarke is in the same studio.
I'm
Buddy,
home.
hi.
Yeah, how are we?
How are you?
Well, welcome home to both of us. You've been in Pakistan. I've been in India. I've just landed back. What a tournament. Honestly, I could not be happier for RCB. For them to finally get the monkey off the back, so they say, but to win their first IPL title, it was just meant to be. They earned the right from the start of the tournament, the way they played, to be in the final. I know they didn't finish first. Punjab Kings finished first, but RCB were the team of this year's IPL. And just the whole fairy tale for Virat Kohli. He wears number 18 on the back of his jersey. It's the 18th year of the IPL. It was just meant to be. And even the celebrations afterwards at the ground, to see him on his knees in tears, it shows, and even listening to him speak, it shows how big this tournament actually is. He compares it to any achievement he's had in his career, and winning the IPL this year was as special a feeling. Now, he's won World Cups. He's won major test series. He beat Australia in Australia as captain. There's nothing he hasn't achieved, and the emotion on his face, it shows. Like, this tournament is as big as anything in world cricket.
Absolute scenes in Ahmedabad, of course. Yeah. They did contest the IPL final in front of over 90,000 people. Record-breaking numbers. Yeah. So deserved. Topsy-turvy season, obviously had a little bit of a break in there as well, but to see it restart with such gusto, so much intensity. RCB, I mean, the fairy tale, they threatened to do it back in 2016,
so
and
close.
I've seen all the comments about, will someone save humanity this season? Will they manage to get it done? But they did get it done.
Look, the best two teams, in my opinion, made the final. Punjab were outstanding. I think they probably overachieved this season. I think they should be super proud that they got to the final. They got a lot of young Indian players, which I think is super exciting for that team and Indian cricket. Shreyas Iyer led that team very well as captain, and his season was phenomenal. So I think they can certainly hold their head high. But RCB, just the big moments all throughout the tournament. Any big moment, any opportunity where someone needed to stand up. And yes, we talk about Virat Kohli. He is a superstar, there's no doubt about it. But there's other players in that team that just grabbed their opportunity. Krunal Pandya, who got man of the match, what a season he had. What a season. Again, experience, left arm orthodox, his accuracy, his skill, getting big wickets under pressure all throughout the tournament, and he did it in the final. You've got to pay that team all the respect because they earned it. They worked exceptionally hard, and they deserve to win. Andy Flower.
He's an absolute genius,
Mate,
Andy Flower.
What a coach.
What hasn't he won? And now he's got the IPL crown to add to
and
that
the other thing as well,
title.
He hasn't been spoken about. Like, he always goes under the radar, and maybe that's one of his greatest strengths as a coach. I think he's an absolute gentleman. I love speaking cricket to him. His knowledge is phenomenal, and his coaching record is as good as anyone. So I'm really happy for Andy.
Stop being a wallflower, Andy. More from you, but it was absolutely epic to see. And in terms of the final, 190 plays, 184. Punjab couldn't get there in the chase. You did the final.
I did the pitch report.
Got the call up. Talk to us about the pitch.
I thought they underscored. I thought
where they left. Did they leave a few out there? Do you think?
I thought it was I thought 200 was below par. I thought you needed 220. Now, looking at condition, and this is the other thing when you spend time out of the game and as a player and you go into commentary, you still look at the game and read the game. So when you do the pitch report, I look at the pitch like I did when I was captain. It is easy to forget what pressure does because I've been out of that bubble for a while. It was another example of runs on the board. Like in a final, whatever total you get, you make it enough. You two teams have to bat on that wicket. And again, I think if that's a normal game during the season, you're looking for 220 because the pitch was an absolute belter. But the pressure of a final, and there's a reason that the average score in a final, winning score in a final, is 170. So even though the wicket was better than that, scoreboard pressure, runs on the board, it's significant. It was awesome to be there for the finals to see how individual players and teams dealt with pressure. Drop catches, oh my God. It's what pressure does. Missed opportunities. Like chasing that score, and I think Ricky Ponting came out and said it after the game, we probably feel like we missed an opportunity, I think was his quote. Every day of the week, they're making those runs during the season. But a final under pressure, as soon as Shreyas Iyer got out, you could just feel the whole momentum swift to RCB. You could just feel the crowd just all of a sudden become part of the game because that wicket was massive. And he was in terrific form. Josh Inglis, same way. He's been in terrific form as well. When those two boys got out, you just felt like RCB.
And when Marcus Stoinis got out as well, I think they were hoping for a hero's resurgence. We know how great he can be in the middle order versus what RCB did. Rajat Patidar, I want to talk about him a little bit. Brand new captain as well in the side. Coming after the likes of your Faf du Plessis and your Chris Gales and your Virat Kohlis and all of these incredible talent. He gets the opportunity to captain the side. He's stabilised the innings as he did so many times right throughout the season, middle order, lower order, contributing a lot of vital runs. What did you like about the way he managed to control the troops under pressure? Because as you said, so much pressure, two sides, never won the title before. Everyone wanted to win so badly.
Well, he didn't personally have the best season with the bat. He bats in what I think is the hardest position to bat in, number 4. In 2020 cricket, I reckon number 4 is the toughest place to bat. So he bats in a tough position. But again, his man management, his captaincy was brilliant. The way he used Krunal Pandya in the final, brilliant. The way he managed to captain the team with the likes of Virat Kohli, such a strong character in his team, and allow Virat to be himself. Virat's energy in the field, it's like a 16-year-old kid. He's buzzing around like he's just started playing the game. He would help move the field, and for the captain to be okay with that and try and get the best out of his team, I think, again, he's another one that hasn't got enough credit. He deserves so much credit. I know he would have liked more runs, but I think he scored runs at the right time, the right stages, important runs for the team, and I thought his leadership was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So, and it all plays a part, I think.
Well, what a story too. In 2022, he wasn't even picked up in the auction. And then he goes to actually captaining a side to victory, which no RCB team's done before. And I think the mentality behind RCB was always, they had all the big stars, they bought all the best players, and they could never get the job done, which is why, and I apologise, RCB fans, I called you the Arsenal of the EPL. Well, you've proven me wrong now. Absolutely sensational to get the win. It just goes to show that you don't have to have the best players in the world in order to get the job done. And obviously they had a wonderful stacked team, but the way that they, I suppose Andy Flower and co bought at the auction, it goes to show the auction really works as well, because it was such an evenly placed season in many respects. We didn't know who was going to make
I don't like, if I'm in a team, I hate that every 3 years you only keep a handful of players and then you got to start again as a team, as a leader, as a captain or a coach. I would hate that. I want the same team all the time, especially if you've got a good team. But I think the auction works. I think, like I said, CSK, I think, finished last. You never see that. Ever. Like, they've got a team of superstars. So they're someone that I think, very rarely will you see them have a season like that. So the fact that last can finish in the top 4, Mumbai will last for half the season. Then they finish 4th. Like, the games are so competitive. The teams are evenly poised. Like, they're even in regards to, I don't think you win an IPL tournament with your overseas players. I think it's your local players. I think it's your Indian players that are defining for the success of the tournament. And I think you look at the two teams that made the final, the Indian players have led from the front, have scored runs, have taken wickets, have captained their teams. You've got two Indian captains as well. I think the tournament is phenomenal. Honestly, I can't praise it enough. And this was probably my favourite year as a commentator as well, because you didn't go to the game thinking, there's nothing on this game. Even up until the last game before the finals, I can't remember what the game was. I was commentating. One of the teams had to win. It might have been Mumbai was playing or Punjab. One of them had to win. It might have been Punjab to finish in the top two, or RCB. They had to win the last game of the round robin to finish first or second.
It's the mark of a brilliant tournament when
you
don't know who's actually going to make those top two positions. And probably that is what actually did Gujarat Titans undone, is losing to CSK.
I know, to
at the
qualify,
back end. They
100%.
could have qualified top two, and they end up losing out to Mumbai in the back end, I think,
getting a second chance, finishing first or second is huge advantage.
Yeah.
I just think if you can get a second chance in a knockout game, wow, that's a huge bonus. So I think Gujarat, they'll probably look at that game against CSK as the one they let slide. Rather than, Mumbai beating them in a playoff, an eliminator, that can happen. Yeah. Mumbai's team was full of, I think they had 5 international captains in their starting 11. Like, unbelievable experience, and they're the players you want involved, when you're under pressure. But yeah, I think Gujarat Titans and Punjab, I think those two teams will still be extremely happy finishing in the top 4. I think they got young teams, they'll continue to get better. And if you're finishing in the top 4 this year, I would be very surprised if they're both not there. I think they'll get better next year.
I mean, no shame in making it to the biggest final in domestic T20 cricket anywhere in the world. Congratulations to RCB. Finally got the job done. We, of course, couldn't move on to sort of unpacking the rest of the season and discussing your favourite new stars without mentioning, obviously, the celebrations were epic in Ahmedabad, and they continue to be epic back in Bengaluru. We just obviously got word of the awful tragedy that did happen around Chinnaswamy Stadium yesterday. So on behalf of both of us here at Beyond 23, we just want to extend our thoughts and prayers to the families of those who perished, unfortunately, in the overexcitement and the stampede that happened. I believe it's being investigated, and RCB's announced financial support for each of the families affected, and RCB Cares has also been created to support fans injured. So we just wanted to, extend our, just sort of say how sorry we are to hear that that's happened.
Well said, Erin. Very true. I think, look, the fans make every game and every competition, and the fans in India are phenomenal. And I love seeing, like, every game is packed. So even the players, they know what they're playing for. You listen to Virat Kohli
means
talk.
So much to everyone,
mate. They love their team, and you want them to be a part of it, and you want them to celebrate for RCB. It's devastating to see anybody get injured or hurt, or even worse, pass away. Is absolutely devastating. So yeah, hopefully, we never see this again. And I think the players should be able to celebrate with the fans, even if it's pack the stadium. Take the players to the stadium and let them do a lap of honour at their home ground, something like that. Whatever it is, I hope this doesn't stop players and fans being able to celebrate together, because I think the fans deserve it. But you never, ever want to see someone get hurt or injured or pass. So, thoughts are with all the families. Devastating news.
And it certainly was a sad end to what has been an absolutely incredible season. And you already touched on the fact that IPL is incredible because you unearth these emerging stars, these new talents that we haven't seen before, up against the very best in the world. And I wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of your favourite standouts as well that caught your eye, because you were a part of it for pretty much the majority of the season. We haven't seen you in Australia for a couple of months. I've got down a couple of my favourites in terms of new stars emerging. Shashank Singh, who was brilliant in the final as well, 61 off 30 for him. 6 big 6 is such a strong man. So much potential there. Riyan Parag, he's been threatening for years. Who have you liked in terms of the batters making inroads?
Well, the leading run scorer, now forget he's the leading run scorer, but to me, this kid is a superstar, Sai Sebastian. He left-hander. I think he's a number 3 in Test cricket. I think he's probably going to open the batting in time in India's T20 team and one-day team.
So you've seen enough in his technique and his poise that you think it's going to translate into Test cricket?
I think he's a superstar. He's in their Test squad. He gets his first opportunity in England. I think he can walk straight into bat number 3. I think technically he's very good. He's got all the shots, and mentally he's ready. He really impressed me. And he's a good looking player as well. Like he's got that left-hander backlift, that left-hander style. He plays all the shots against the quicks. He'll take on the short ball.
759
crazy
runs,
season,
averaging over 54.
And a youngster as well.
It's impressive.
It's another really example of the talent. Like I know,
23.
Yeah, he's a baby.
He's 23 years old. So I was literally just getting out ESPN and having a little check then. But 23
Rohit Sharma retires from Test cricket. I think tactically, any team will miss his captaincy. I think tactically he was a brilliant captain. Virat Kohli walks away from Test cricket. Devastating. What an absolute champion he's been. And Test cricket will miss him.
Do you think he
has
chose to walk away? I thought some of the comments he made post the IPL final of, this is obviously an amazing moment for me and this is something I was missing, but Test cricket is still the ultimate for me. It was an interesting comment to make in the moment.
No, I think he definitely made the choice to retire. And those two players will be missed dearly, but India's got so much potential and talent. I believe this. If India go to England and get flogged, if they lose the series 5-0, for example, I think the fans will want Virat Kohli to come out of retirement and play Test cricket again. And I think if he was asked by captain, selectors, and supported by fans, if they get beaten big time in England, I think he'll come. He still loves Test cricket. I think his words, those words, like you could hear his passion for Test cricket is real. He sees it as the pinnacle, and he's still playing good enough cricket. He definitely made the call to retire, and whatever his reasons are, everybody comes to that time in their career. If that's the case, then so be it. But if they don't perform, if they get beaten, like I say, 5-0 in England, which I don't think they will, I think they can still win in England. Even without Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, I think this Indian squad is a good squad.
Well, you've heard it here first on Beyond 23. Will Virat Kohli do a Tom Brady and unretire himself? I'm here for it. I'm putting my hand up. If they get pumped in England, bring back the king. I would love to see what that would look like. But, I mean, the media, the fans, like they'll make it known what they want.
India is a passionate cricket country. They want to see their team win. I think they can still beat England. There you go. I think they're a good enough team.
There you go.
But if they don't, if they get flogged, I think there will be a push for Virat Kohli to come out of retirement.
Oof, can't wait to see what happens there. Yeah. All right, so batter of the comp,
Sai Sebastian is my batter.
Bowler of the comp.
Now, I've spoken about this guy a lot. He wasn't the leading wicket taker, but to me,
I know who you're going to
Kuldeep Yadav. He's
a legend.
He should be India's #1 pick spinner. In England, he's my first pick spinner. He's playing. He's a wicket taker. He's an X factor. Kuldeep Yadav.
Great interview on the pod as well. Love the chat you guys had.
I think he was my bowler of the tournament. I think his reading of the batsman has improved out of sight. His courageousness to still toss the ball up, to attack, to look to take wickets. I loved watching him bowl, and he bowled at the hardest times
and
as well.
And in a season where bowlers were getting pumped in so many different venues all the way around India, it looked like you really had to reassess what was a good economy rate, what am I trying to get out of this particular game? Because if we're averaging, 200 plus every single venue, some of them more, particularly in Hyderabad.
Well, the other thing as well, he generally come on to bowl when a partnership was going. They needed someone to get a breakthrough. Who do they go to? Kuldeep Yadav. He's not coming on to bowl when 2 new batsmen are there. So that's the other thing I think you've got to put into perspective as well. It's the role he plays in that team that was defining. He's a star.
Impactful.
So he's my bowler.
As always. And you've been speaking highly of him since the Champions Trophy. So been in some fantastic form right the way out the calendar year so far. You're captain of the comp.
I'm going to say Shreyas Iyer. I think the way he led his team with the bat, which is very significant. You've got to be making runs as a batsman or taking wickets as a bowler. But then I thought tactically he got better all throughout the tournament and deserves the credit that he's received. I think he shot in the final you could see in his face after he played it, he's like, I wish I could take that moment back because he was in stellar form. Like the game before, that innings, he won the game on his own. Wickets were falling around him and that innings was unbelievable. So then to get to the final and get out like that, I know he'll be disappointed. But again, I think he got the most out of his team. And I thought his captaincy was outstanding.
Yeah, he's such an incredible player and so much to offer. And wonderful to see his captaincy flourish under Ricky Ponting as well. No doubt there would have been a lot of captain-to-captain chats that would have happened throughout there. And
I think any captain-coach relationship is very important. But at the end of the day, Ricky's not out on the field. He's not making the bowling changes. He's not changing the field. And you can have whatever tactics you want. The captain has to do it. He's the one out there under pressure, making those tough decisions. So I think Shreyas Iyer deserves that credit.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, who underperformed this season as well? Looking at the table, we saw CSK and Rajasthan Royals with only 8 points for the season on the bottom of the table. But who do you think had the potential?
Actually, the two teams that I think have very good teams, and I can't put my finger on why they performed not as badly as they did, but they didn't qualify for the top four. SRH and KKR, the final of last season, they've got two good teams. They're both good enough to finish in the top four. So I think those two, CSK finishing last, like I say, you never see that. It's very rare. But I'd say I'm probably most disappointed with those two teams, KKR and SRH. I think they'll be disappointed with their season.
The way Sunrisers started the season as well, they looked like such a power-packed, particularly batting lineup, but they had brilliant bowling as well.
Can I say this?
Always.
I think Paddy Cummins looked fatigued. And I'm saying mentally. So captaining Australia and then going and captaining the IPL.
For months.
I think he looked a little bit tired, even with some of his tactics on the field. Did he make the right? And no captain makes the right call all the time. But I just think you could see in his body language, you could see in some of his decisions, he looked a little bit fatigued. And captaincy does that mentally. So I don't know. That's not why they finished where they finished, but I think that could have played a part as well. Trying to stay fresh through that tournament. It's 9 weeks on the road. Cricket, fly, train. Cricket, fly. Like game, fly, train. Game, fly. It's chaos. So you've got to find a way to stay as fresh as you can. So, yeah, look, those two teams I think will be looking at, okay, even with the same squad or the same players stepping out on the field, we're expecting a much better season next season.
For sure. The Sunrisers fans out there. Well, I mean, it was a juggernaut this season, IPL 2025. It has come to an end. Congratulations to RCB. Finally get to raise that trophy up high. It was a stellar season. But, it wouldn't be a Beyond 23 podcast without getting a couple of predictions from you for next season. I mean, where do these teams go now? They've got a few years to build.
I'm still dealing with
next
this season.
I know.
Oh.
But, is this the start of something new for RCB? Is this the start of something new for Punjab, building on this momentum? We've had our mega auction. Now sides have the opportunity to stick with these players or twist for a couple of years.
Well, yeah.
Any thoughts moving forward?
I don't know. I don't know who wins it next year. I think, like I say, I think Punjab, they were at a building stage and they made the final. So I think they sit in an awesome position and they'll want to go one further next season. I've got this thing for KKR. I don't know why. I just think that squad is brilliant. They just need to work out what happened this year, but I think they will be in the top four. So Punjab, KKR, not final, but I'm saying in the top four. I don't know about RCB. I feel like they had the perfect year this year.
The fairy tale.
But that doesn't mean they don't make the top four next year, but I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I'm still in this year. But I think KKR is the one that probably stands out for mine that should be in the top 4, and they weren't this season. So
and
I'll
moving forward for Indian cricket, we've seen a lot of change already. We've now seen Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma step back from Test cricket. What does IPL look like next year? Do the big boys stick around? Does Dhoni stick around? Does the impact rule stick around so that we get to see these legends in the comp for more years to come? Do you like that rule? And, say
the impact player will stay. Yeah. Look, I don't think it helps. The impact player in the IPL, I don't think it helps Indian cricket. It's great for the tournament. I don't think because you don't do it at international level. So, but in regards to IPL, I think they'll keep the impact player in. The old boys as such, MS Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, I think all three of them will play in next year's IPL.
I hope so.
I think a lot of people don't realise the impact of what those players do for that team, that franchise, and those fans. Like MS Dhoni is massive. Every Chennai game every time Chennai plays, even at away games, there's more Chennai fans than any other fan. Even in away games.
Everywhere. Yellow Storm, doesn't matter where you are.
But sponsors, they're there because of MS Dhoni. The fans, they're there because of MS Dhoni. He is the king of that franchise. They want him to keep playing. And I don't think people realise the impact. Because it has to happen at some stage, when he decides to retire, it will be a huge loss to that franchise. Rohit Sharma, again, like at the top of the order, we saw in the semi-final it might have been, or eliminator, he walked out and got 80. Like, he copped so much criticism. Has he still got it? Under pressure, most amount of pressure, he walks out and makes a brilliant 80, gets man of the match. So, I don't know. I reckon these guys have still got it if they want it. And Virat Kohli sounds like he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's still, like I say, he's buzzing in the field like a 16-year-old boy. Rohit Sharma and MS Dhoni,
behind the stumps, MS Dhoni as well. The amount of stumpings.
Best keeper in the competition.
Unbelievably
Still
quick.
the best keeper in the competition.
I don't believe he's 40-something years old. I think he's
44
aging backwards.
in July.
Benjamin Button, I don't believe it.
Yeah, amazing.
I think he's 34 and he's lying to us all.
Yeah.
That we will wrap it up here, though. It's been an absolute joy to be back in the studio in person with you.
It's nice to be home.
It's been a really long time, but we have so much to look forward to, of course. It feels like summer's already starting. World Test Championship is around the corner. We're going to have an episode on that very soon. But thank you so much to all of us who joined in for your In Conversation interviews while you're away in India. Some absolutely epic chats.
Actually, thank you.
Stand alone.
Thank you to all the players, coaches and administrators that said yes to doing those interviews. It was so much fun. It was chilled out, in conversation, very relaxed, over coffee. But everyone was amazing, and I really appreciate them giving me their time. And I hope all of our listeners enjoyed. Well, I don't call them interviews; I call them in conversation because I'm no presenter. I don't want to interview anyone. It's just a casual catch up with some of my close friends. That are superstars of the game. So very fortunate they gave us their time.
Wonderful insight. Go back and listen to those. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and jump back on at Beyond 23 Cricket Pod because there is plenty more to come this season. Thank you so much for listening and we'll see you next ep. It's World Test Championship time. Bye for now.